You look around the world, and what do you see? A spectacular, dazzling, and honestly, often conflicting tapestry of beliefs. This sheer variety of faith is one of the biggest, most powerful challenges to the very idea of a single, universal God. So let's dive into this collision of massive ideas. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's the question that echoes through just about every debate on religion. We're looking at a kaleidoscope of creeds, a total cacophony of faith, thousands of different gods, thousands of paths to salvation. If there's supposed to be one truth, why is the signal so noisy? Why all this divine static?
So all this chaos, it's not just confusing. For a powerful intellectual tradition, this very multiplicity is the strongest piece of evidence that all religions are, when you get right down to it, human inventions. It's a real storm of reason. And look, this is not a new idea at all. It has a pretty deep history. You can trace it back to the philosophical skepticism of guys like David Hume, then it gets the psychological twist with Ludwig Feuerbach, and then bam, it explodes into the mainstream with the thunder of the new atheists in our century.
Feuerbach's idea was a game changer. He basically said, hey, you know when we talk about God's infinite love, his perfect justice, his awesome power, we're not actually describing some being out there. Instead, he argued, we're just taking the best parts of ourselves, our own potential, and projecting it onto this giant cosmic screen. So in his view, God is just a magnificent mirror of humanity. Now, fast forward to today, and thinkers like Richard Dawkins have put an even sharper, more brutal point on it. The fact that your religion is almost entirely decided by where you happen to be born, he calls that a birthplace lottery. It suggests belief has nothing to do with universal truth and everything to do with a kind of cosmic, cruel trick of geography.
So you can boil this whole critique down to 3 core points. First, that geographical contingency we just talked about. Second, incompatible paths. I mean, different religions make claims about salvation that just can't both be true at the same time. You can't all be right. And third, this whole situation just screams divine hiddenness. If God exists and wants to be known, why make the truth so hard to find in this bewildering maze?
Okay, so that's the storm of critique. It's powerful. But from right inside that storm, the Quran offers a profoundly different way of looking at all of this. It's not just a simple denial, but a complete reframing of the entire question. The framework the Quran presents is built on this really beautiful analogy. Imagine that ultimate truth is one single, vast, endless ocean. The different religions and laws sent to humanity over time, they're like different vessels, different ships, each one uniquely designed to sail that same ocean, just in different times and different climates. And to really get this, we need to understand 2 key concepts. First, there's the deen. That's the ocean, the one unchanging, universal truth. It's the core message that was given to all the prophets, submission to the one creator. Then you have the Shari'ah. Those are the vessels, the specific laws, the methods, the traced-out paths that were tailored for a specific people at a specific time. So, one ocean, but many different vessels. And this isn't just an interpretation. The Quran says it pretty directly. It says that if God wanted, he absolutely could have made everyone a single nation, following a single path. But he didn't. Why? The purpose of having this whole fleet of different vessels, it says, is to create a kind of divine competition in goodness, to see who uses their path to excel in doing good. It's a dynamic test, not a static one-size-fits-all uniform. So that raises a question. If diversity is actually part of the divine plan, where does all the nasty conflict and contradiction come from? Well, the Quran has an answer for that too, and it points the finger directly at the interference of human hands, which corrupt and distort the original message. Yeah, the text does not pull any punches on this. It directly condemns anyone who would alter the divine message for some worldly gain, whether it's power or money or status, and then have the nerve to pass off their own ideas as being from God. This, it argues, is the real source of all the discord we see. And it lays out exactly how this distortion happens. It's a 3-step process, really. First, you conceal parts of the truth that you don't like. Second, you invent new rituals and practices that were never part of the original deal. And third, you elevate human leaders, scholars, priests, monks, to a point where their word becomes law, overriding what God actually said. The pure signal gets drowned out by human noise. So all of this leads us to one final, absolutely crucial concept in the Quranic framework. It totally reframes the search for God, not as some cultural impulse, but as something built into the very hardware of human reason itself. This idea is called Fitrah. It's the belief that every human being is born with an innate functional design, a kind of spiritual and intellectual default setting. And this default setting, this Fitrah, is hardwired with the faculty of reason specifically to recognize the unity of its creator. So it's not a cognitive bias or something society teaches you. It's the very law of our own creation, an engine of reason designed to find its way home. When you look at it this way, faith isn't a blind leap in the dark. It's a recognition of a vast, unshakable moral order to the universe, a cosmos governed by cause and effect, where every single action, no matter how tiny, has a real consequence. It's a system that our innate reason, our Fitrah, is perfectly designed to see and to align with.
And that leaves us right back where we started, with a massive, provocative question. We've seen two powerful, completely opposing views. Is this whole kaleidoscope of human faith just us projecting our own needs and fears onto a blank, empty cosmos? Or is the sincere search for the one source the ultimate purpose of our design, the highest, noblest function of human reason itself? The answer to that doesn't just define God, it defines who we are.